All right. Hail and welcome to the Black Tower. I'm your host, your guide, your brother, the Sorcerer Armana Soul. Uh, I'm on a wait here just a little bit, see who shows up, because I'm not even for sure if I've got this right. All right, here we go. I'm going to give it just a little bit. I hope everybody's doing okay. Uh, I'm glad to be back. I'm not going to lie. It's been a while. Having to find my passion. That was wonderful. Uh, what I plan on doing for this coming year is teaching Sorcery of the Black Tower to anyone and all who are interested. Uh, Concepts, principles, and practices. That way, this next generation of sorcerers coming in have an actual stable, grounded, level place to start. Hey, brother, to start their practice. One of the things while I was away and I kept thinking about was the fact that a lot of people are talking about a lot of things like, they'll talk about spirits and things of this nature, and they'll talk about, oh, this is how you do this is how you do that, but they don't give any of the other stuff. So what I want to do in this coming year uh, is actually teach sorcery as sorcery actually is. Uh, First things first, if I can somebody tell me if my volume's good? Because I can't tell. My volume's kind of stuck for some reason. I can't get it go any higher. Can everybody hear me all right? Okay, cool. Hey, Ethan. Damn, dude. I'm not. Holy crap, brother. I've not seen you in a while. Good. Uh, I'm gonna give it a little bit, and I'll get to what tonight's lesson on the sacred flame is. Uh, I want to say thank you first and foremost to anybody and everybody who was here last weekend with me. I appreciate that. Forgive me if I was a little emotional, overly emotional, maybe not so much emotional because I don't apologize for being emotional or showing my emotions, but uh, I wasn't trying to come across as, whiny or nothing like that. However, the loss of my little buddy, that broke my heart. That really broke my heart. Uh, and for everybody that, their condolences and stuff, I appreciate that. I really, really do. Um, so I was hitting it last weekend. Yeah, I was very raw, and I don't know if I wondered whether, well, I appreciate that so much because I know that there are times when people don't show enough emotion, and then there's times when all you got is some kind of emotional drama queen or something like that. Um, so I appreciate that. So I was hinting last weekend about what I was wanting to do on my channel here that I had things planned for this that I had videos planned, and I do. I'll probably go probably doing them live. You'll notice I haven't got that nice little background with my key on it and stuff because apparently now they've changed stuff in the year that I've been gone making videos. You can no longer have a virtual background through YouTube unless I guess you have to have premium or whatever it's called YouTube. I guess I don't know or yard stream. Anyway, you've got to pay to be able to apply it, which is neither here nor there. But yeah, so unless I figure out how to go from Zoom to here live using OBS, uh, which I have been saying for 3 years that I need to figure out how to work OBS, but I'm a bit lazy when it comes to technology. I'd rather the clean, simple of it. Which that's neither here nor there. Really, the background really don't matter. Y'all seen my living room before. Many of you have. New people, you see my old videos. It's same living room. Uh, Here's the thing. Sorcery to me, sorcery to me is not the the traditional social uh, uh, not acceptable. I don't know the word I'm looking for. Their definition of it is just a form of magic or whatever. But let's break this down a little bit. So sorcery is this right here. Sorcery is where the practitioner themselves are imbuing within themselves powers of the gods. Okay, and to do this, you have to build that power. Okay, you can't just one day be like, I am a I am your creator God. Listen to me, bow before me, and do as I say. Stuff like that when you're not there yet. Uh, Sorcery is the practice of self empowerment that leads to your very will and your very desire being made manifest in your life. And what I want to do is I want to teach what I've learned for 27 years now. I want to teach it in a simple, hands on, practical manner so that anybody can take it and run it. Okay. Uh, I I think that there's so many paths to power that I think that it becomes jumbled like a soup. And I think that, people are like, well, I'm kind of into this and I'm kind of into that. And this feels right. This feels more like me and this feels like, and so forth and so on. And it seems like unless you're following a certain group's deities or, unless you're just, totally into this book or into this book, nobody will go into the details of how to get to a place of power. And what I want to do is my true will. My true will, the summum bottom, the gold, the philosopher's stone in action. What I want to do is I have, since I can remember, show people their own strength, help them discover and learn how to tap into it. Hey, Xander, nice to have you here, man. Uh, how to tap into it, how to build it, how to raise it, how to apply different magical practices and methods, and how to practically apply all these things so that you have the tools, so that you have the means at your own disposal, at your own hands, at your own fingertips, to do it yourself, to not rely on some guru, not rely on some guide or teacher that may or may not answer your questions, that you may or may not be able to have one on one with. This this is kind of like a classroom, like a teaching, if you will. Okay, so if you'll bear with me as I'm trying to stumble through these words here, I'll spit it out in a minute. But in magic in general, not just in sorcery, but in magic in general, no matter what path you are, no matter what system you are, no matter what deities you follow, sorcery in general is the most powerful part of sorcery, but it's integral in all forms of magic, and it's called the sacred flame. Okay. Now, the sacred flame, I don't care if you're talking about the ever burning torches and flames and braziers that were left burning in temples. I don't care if you talk about a hearth candle, because there's a lot of witches that I know and low magic practitioners and so forth and so on who keep a candle on their altar lit year round. It's even a practice in some systems and traditions. But for a sorcerer, it's much more than that. Much, much more than that for a sorcerer or sorceress. The flame, the sacred flame, represents the core you, your spark. Okay. Now, over the years, as we get older and trials and stuff that we go through in life, the good, the bad, the, whether whether your life was calm and smooth, and every now and then, sorry, give me 1 second. I don't know why I keep getting pop-ups. That's weird. No matter what you're talking about, you have to build it. You have to strengthen it. You have to protect it. Okay? In sorcery, as a sorcerer or a sorceress, you yourself, you are a god or goddess in the making, uh, demon in the making, whatever in the making, whatever it is that the individual can visualize or conceptualize as being the end all be all of what they're trying to become, of what they're trying to mold themselves into to unlock that power. And so we start with the flame, okay? And so the flame represents just that. Now, I brought with me tonight 2 tools, okay? 2. All you will need, all anyone will need, okay? So for all those sitting here listening to me now, Helen, welcome, thank you. And to all those who come here later, Helen, well met. So what I got tonight, and I brought simple stuff because it only takes simple tools. So what we have here is a simple candle inside a glass jar, votive candle, okay? And a pack of matches, okay? Now the reason why matches is because, yeah, you can get a lighter and everything else and it'd be quicker. But there is something to the senses that the smell of sulfur excites. So that's why the matches, okay? Plus sulfur, despite the fact that certain entities can smell like sulfur because of their energetic makeup, and sometimes certain spirits of the dead can, okay? That's neither here nor there, but I'm making a point here. But sulfur wards against evil spirits. Now, let me explain to you what I mean by evil spirits. I'm not talking about demons and things that you work with. I'm talking about malignant forces and powers that are constantly around us all the time because they exist upon this plane as we do. Okay? They're just incorporeal and invisible to our physical sight. Now, what sulfur does is, hey, you know how sulfur can burn your nose? Well, what sulfur does to incorporeal beings is kind of dissipates them. It kind of keeps them away from you. And because the act of lighting a candle should be a sacred act of yourself, you are not just lighting a candle. You have to be in the mindset to where you realize, take the candle, cleanse it, smudge it, whatever you want to do. Bring your hands across it. Do a charge to your personal energy. Breathe on it. A deep breath. Make sure it's a deep breath. Charge it. Okay? That candle, as long as it exists, is you. Okay? It is the power of you. It is the powerful self. It is the invisible, hidden God self. It is the bornless one. The headless one, even. It's the daemon. It's the HDA. It's yeah. But anyway, the thing is that in this act, it must be sacred. It must be holy. To get to the point of what I'm talking about, you have to quit looking at things like good and evil, positive, negative, stuff to this degree. You have to think there's power, and then there's the loss of power. And so, for power to be power, for it to maintain itself, to contain itself, it must be consistent and it must be constant. For it to be consistent and constant, it must always be. And to always be means that it has to maintain. And if it maintains, that means it's guarded, it's protected, it's watched over, it's tended to. Think of this candle as your body. And when we light it, think of it as the spark within coming to life. Now, when this happens, is you look into it and you would say, I am thee and thou art I. Somehow, some way, and maybe not in those words, connect yourself with the flame. So anyway, so we're going to start this. Okay, you saw the candle I had. Going to light it. Now I put marks on mine. You can't see it because it's so brilliant, thankfully, because they're my own personal symbols. But as you've lit it, and you have it, hold it and cup it in both hands. The most holy, the most holy, the most sacred, the most profane and profound. That is the hidden self, the all-knowing self, the God self. The flame itself, not the candle, the flame. Now, what I want you to do for an exercise is when you have your candle and you have it lit, spend 5 to 10 minutes a day when you wake up. You can even do this at night, but at nighttime, I warn you now, it might wake you up and keep you up, okay? And that's night being whenever you go to bed, okay? And morning being whenever you wake up. But the thing is that this flame is eternal, even though this right here will burn out and go away. Soul is eternal, is infinite, is boundless. And I want you to, when you're holding your flame, when you're holding your candle, when you're sitting there and you're becoming one with your flame, I want you to think of something. Fire or flames have a dual nature about them. They can warm, give life, create sanctity, safety, in space. Okay? They can also become brighter or brilliant, burn and consume. This was a secret in the Necronomicon with the flames of Gira, of Gishbar Ba Kabil, the devouring, and Gishbar Ba Kabul, the shining one, the one that purifies, that heals. The thing is that your flame, how do you tend to it? Do you look at it as if it's meaningless? Or do you attribute unto your flame your dreams, your aspirations, your hopes, your desires, your fears, your pain, every single bit of it? Because just like the flame has two parts, remember, the core of the spark inside has two parts as well. It has the part that it shows, and it has the part that it hides. The part that it shows is usually the stronger self. It's the confident self. It's the self that is seen, that is known. And then it has a hidden self. It has an invisible self. It has the stuff it hides. Hides our pains. It hides our weaknesses. It hides our confusion. It hides our dismay, our heartbrokenness. It hides all these things. But you embrace it. So when you're holding your flame or placing it in front of you, when you're taking this time to do this, to meditate, clear your mind, and just see the flame inside, awaken at the core center, right there between the breasts, right there at the base of the chest bone, of the sternum, the solar plexus. That is the core self. That is the core star, the sacred star. What happens is that the more you can associate that flame with your inner self, okay, you're putting power into yourself. Because let me tell you a little secret you can do. You can take your flame and you can offer it offerings as you light it. You can burn blood over it, feed it to your own central spark, your own central core. Anything that it can burn, that it consumes, it takes within itself, you take within yourself, making yourself stronger. Write down your fears. Get it as small as you can. Burn it. Put the ashes in a bowl. Take this from me. Yourself listens to you. When I got sick this past week, and which is kind of fitting with everything that happened the previous week, we had some kind of, I don't know what it was, but 102.7 degree temperature, fever, coughing, everything else. Burnt through pretty quick. And I'm sitting there the first day, I'm just feeling rough after the initial, when it started dropping down. My temperature went down to about 100 degrees, and I was feeling rough. And I sat there, and every bit of me just wanted to just be like, oh, fuck this shit, and just lay there in there. But instead, I sat there and I said, I'm getting better. I'm getting stronger. I'm healing. This thought, see, we program into our minds these things when we're going through things by what we think, by what we allow ourselves to think of ourselves, even through our casual words, So while I was sitting there wanting to say, shit, this sucks, and I felt like shit, instead of saying something like that, sat there, I accepted how I felt. But instead, what I chose to speak instead, at least I'm kicking this. And it allowed me to get over it in less than 72 hours. And it's pretty nasty too, because it gets in your chest and your head and your throat. Like it was, I don't know what it was. We got some kind of like super bug going around or something. I have no idea. It's not flu, it's not COVID, it's not RSV, but it can turn into RSV. It's not here nor there. I hope and pray each and every single one of you are safe and healthy out there, because that was some pretty nasty stuff, and I hope none of y'all get that. At any rate, but just like how I was explaining that, understand that what you give to this is giving to your higher self, okay? Now, the reason why you would feed it your pain, your fears, the things that you don't like, because you need to accept it. You need to accept that you have a low self-esteem, or to accept that you feel unloved, or to accept that, any of the myriad of things that you might be feeling. Accept it, because that's how you feel. Embrace it, because those are things that you're contending with, that you're dealing with. But then, like I said, write them down. Offer them to the flame of self. Sacrifice them. I sacrifice my fears. I sacrifice my pain. Do you know how powerful 80% of this world would be if their pain reversed and could bring positivity to them? And that's what we're doing here. And this is these are one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video. Because I know there's a lot of people out there that'll pay good money for somebody to do a spell for them, make something go away, to change their luck. But what if I told you can do it yourself? One of the things when I was younger into the craft, and I was in high magic and was working with the HGA, discovering my HGA and communicating with it, one of the first things I had to learn was what my true will was. Your true will, you're always doing your true will, whether you're aware of it or not. And sometimes if you know what your true will is, consciously, sometimes you can fuck it up by, oh, well, my true will is this, so I've got to do this, and I've got to do this. No, no, no. You need to breathe, slow down, slow your roll. But my true will was to be the strength for those who have no strength, to be the voice for those without a voice, to help those who had no help. Now, this is mine, okay? And I'm not talking about to be the one handing out stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. When I'm talking about being the strength of the support of others, no, no, no. Because part of doing that is also teaching them, hey, it's okay, and you're not alone. But here, let's stand up, shake it off. You got this, and move on. Because that whole thing where they talk about give a man a fish and he'll eat for a day, teach a man how to fish and he'll never go hungry, that's true. Okay? That is so true. When you teach people where their strengths are, how to get stronger, how to become strong, guess what? They quit relying on others to pick them up. And so as part of my true will is to teach these things, is to show these things. It's not, I'm not trying to be the good guy, I'm not trying to wear a badge. And let me tell you something, there's nothing wrong with being the good guy. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. You don't always go around with, like little gold stars and like the cape and shit like that. No. I have heard for so many decades until I was sick of it. Oh, you're not really doing this for, unbiased reasons. You're doing this because you get something out of it. You want something out of it. And I listened way too much to that shit, and it made me skittish to help people because, that's not the person I want to be. I want to be the guy that helps the person because I feel like helping them, because out of compassion, not because of attention or anything of that nature. And if you listen to too many people in this world, they'll tell you stupid shit like that. They will. They'll get in your head. That's why I say there's nothing wrong with being a good guy or a good woman. Get out there and do it. Be nice just for the sake of being fucking nice. Be an asshole when required. You know what I'm saying? But, I'll show how this all ties back in a second. And then one day, I realized I had a tree with poisonous fruit in my mind. All these times that I could have been helping, showing people how to become stronger, I had quit because somebody got in my fucking head. People do that to you. But you got to learn to safeguard that mind. Keep other people out of your garden. That's your garden. Your mind is your garden. And what you grow there manifests in life. Okay? It just does. Now, how this all ties back into the sacred flame is because the flame is the source of all, and it's where all returns. Okay? Those of us who are flame born. There's some clay born. I ain't gonna lie about that. There are some clay born. There's nothing wrong with that. They're just people of the earth. They don't have a spark inside them. They never did. They're as common and simple as anybody you'd ever meet. There's nothing wrong with that. This earth has all kinds of people on it. Different colors, different views, different beliefs, different feelings, so forth and so on. It's beautiful. It's a fucking tapestry, man. And the flame illuminates all, burns all, consumes all. And be that. Be a consuming flame. Be a consuming flame. Not one that's fueled by hatred. Not one that's fueled by anger. But by love. Love of your own flame. If you can love no one, you can't even love yourself, at least love the spark within you, the flame within you, the intelligence, the burning consciousness of a God. that abides within you. When every time I've ever said love, that's what I am referring to. When I say love yourself, that's what I mean. Can't love anybody or anything else. Love that. Now, I know that this was probably a little bit out there and, just all over the place, but hopefully it helps. Hopefully it makes sense. Maybe it's something that you normally do or have done a couple of times, haven't thought much about it. I'm going to give a tip real quick, though, before I forget it. So, what do I do if my candle's almost burnt out? Save it, get another candle, finish burning this one, and from the dying light of it, light your new one so that the flame passes on. Okay? That's used in practices constantly, it's passing of the flame, so it continues. And remember, it's yours. So keep it somewhere secret, keep it somewhere safe, where no one can get to it, no one can mess with it. Also, I'll have to do this in the light sometime. Maybe you can see it. I got me a nice little fuck cup, coffee cup. Remember my black lion one I have? This one's got a unicorn and a tutu ballerina spinning around saying, I don't give, with a fuck here and a fuck there, I don't give a fuck anywhere. I love this cup. I just had to show that off. I've been meaning to do that. That's neither here nor there, but that's just funny for some people who know about my coffee cups and my addiction to coffee. I'm going to go down through here. I'm going to read these. If anybody has any questions or just whatever, just please, man, just throw it out there. Brother, sounds great. Sounds fine to me. Yeah. And I appreciate that on sound thing. I hope it comes out good, though. You do not feel frustrated. That's wild. My friend who's a Haitian Kungan said that matches are preferred as they are more natural and the wood is a loose offering to whomever you are working with. Yeah, I didn't really know all of that, but yeah, it is a preferred. Also, believe it or not, it does not ward off demons. So, like, let's say, for example, you want to work with demons, but you're scared because I sat here and said, what matches do for this sacred flame, keeping it sacred and stuff. Sulfur, because it is an element of earth, fire, and water. Earth and water is chthonic, okay? Underworld, so forth and so on. Denizens of the deep, the infernal. And fire is an element of the higher and the lower. So it's just a perfect one. I know that fire is one of the higher ones, but what I meant by that was that it is of both. It applies to both. So don't be scared to use matches when working with demons because it'll work just fine. Symbols to put on your candle. I don't care if you carve them. This isn't a glass votive holder. I put my symbol, the key, which is a universal symbol for the Black Tower itself. I wouldn't even know how to explain it, but I know I've said in several videos it was gave to me by my watcher years and years and years ago when I was 19. But that symbol literally represents the faceless, who are sorcerer spirits who, for whatever reason, gave up their identity to become unknown, the nameless, the faceless, the forgotten, so that they would grow in power. They sacrificed their individuality, if you will. They sacrificed everything to become what they were. When I call upon the Gadim in the form of the mighty dead, the ones I'm referring to are the sorcerer spirits that came before, the ones that are, and the ones that come, that are to come. But They are a collective. They're individual, yes, but they are a collective. And they can be called forth by you using this right here. Just light it. And after you recognized yourself first, here's the key. The flame represents you first. Then you call out unto the Gadim, unto the mighty spirits of the sorcerers and sorceresses who have passed on, who still yet aid and are alive within the blood, because they are. If you are a sorcerer, sorceress, if you are on the path of becoming in self-actualization, these spirits are there. I wouldn't have to do anything fancy. I don't have to give you fancy calling. Try it yourself. Just call them and see for yourself. I call unto the Gadim, my brethren, my brothers and sisters of the sorcerer's blood, those of the flame born, those that abide in the blood, I call thee. And then it'll feel weird. You feel like a pressure in the top part of your head, and then you feel them come to aid, come to stand, come to witness. Do and acknowledge them. Hail unto thee, welcome. I greet you, my brethren. I give honor unto thee. You can pour them water. They're not like the typical dead. Their offerings, I give blood as offering unto them. Because they are dead and gone, but because the power and the memory is in the blood. When you offer them blood as an offering of love, as an offering of honor, because you're not giving them blood. They're not going to feed off you and, kill you because you gave them blood. No. This is the way of old. Blood was spilt to show honor. And in so doing, we do the same thing, or I do. Okay? I hope as I continue to make these videos, I am most certainly going to be putting in as much detail as I can without boring anybody to fucking death. Interesting facts, anything that I know to help them with different things. But this is the most important to me. It's the first and foremost, because you know what? No matter what you add to your magical toolbox, no matter what magical path you're on, no matter what magical system, I don't care if it's the 218, which is my personal favorite. I'm really starting to dig that. I one day I will get the physical hardcover copies of those books, but that's neither here nor there. The thing is that no matter what system of magic you're working, this is key. This is crucial. This is fundamental. This is the basis and the grounds of true magic. Okay, powerful magic, old magic. It may not seem like it, but it is, because we are taking a modern approach to something that was done in a wholly different way. Okay, but because things change, this is how we have to do it in the modern age. Now, every time you look at that flame, I want you to think and to remember that it's not just a candle and it's not just a flame. What is it? The candle is you, is your body. The flame is the spirit within. Okay? Now, as I said, as you keep doing these, as you give offerings and so forth and so on, as you make it stronger, as you sacrifice stuff to it, as you embrace and accept the differences of yourself from others and from what others, are attracted to or like or whatever, because they're not you and this isn't their life, this is your life. You have to live your own life your own way. You have to. This is your life. This isn't your mom and dad's life. This isn't your great auntie's life. This is nothing like that. This is your life. if there's something about yourself that you don't like, you need to go to the most powerful part of yourself because that part can change it. Okay? Now, this isn't something overnight or anything like that, but this is a beginning. And this is how we start, and this is how we get there. Okay? Now, I would do this every day when I wake up, no matter what. Keep doing this infinitely. I always like candles myself. Now, I have particular bigger candles that I use that I'll put power carvings on, so forth and so on. I want you to do the same. Find something, find a candle that screams you, okay? Power symbols. Feel free to use my symbol of a key carved, engraved on a candle, okay? Because it is a symbol of power that connects the whole entirety of yourself, your spiritual body. It holds it together in one place so that things like this, that power stays, that is maintained. That is one of the secrets of my key. That's the symbol I use for my channel, that I use for everything, is it's the container. It is the spiritual container for your spirit, okay? For your consciousness. What that allows you to do is not to lose power, so that it can become stronger over time. You might want to put an inverted pentagram. Hail Satan, you know. You might want to put the seal of Lucifer on there. The original Prometheus stole the fire of the gods, gave it to man, and then punished for it. Let us give honor to that which sacrificed for us and gave us the flame, that taught us its ways. So yeah, you want to put a Lucifer seal on it, do that. It could be a 6-point star, or it could be a triangle, a power symbol for you. It could be your own personal seal. Okay? Draw an 8-point star on it, because it represents the 8 winds, the 8 rays, and the 8 ways, the manifold path. Make it sacred, okay? Because that is your body. You're marking this candle that is symbolic of your body with these power symbols to heal and to empower your physical body so that it becomes a better container. Yeah. And I wish everybody success and luck in this, because we need more of the sorcerer blood out there. We do, and I know there's a lot more out there. Just we live in a world where people are trying to dumb us down, trying to weaken us. They're trying to take our power away from us. They do it in small ways. Remember before I was explaining, they get your head. They tell you needless, useless shit that just breaks you down instead of picks you up. Hold up. If you were to offer your blood in that kind of ritual, there are guides online. There are images you can find about, the fingers and what planet they represent and stuff, if you want to be like that. But if you're talking about, so whichever planet, but the middle finger is Saturn, okay? And Saturn is the constrainer, he's the binding agent, if you will. I either use the wedding ring finger, which is Jupiter, or Saturn. It really does depend on which one. You can use any if you want. Like I said, go online. You can find like what finger each planet is, so forth and so on. You can pick one at random. If you just go with your intuition, not necessarily random, but your intuition, whichever one feels right to you. You know what I'm saying? But I either use my middle finger, or I either use the Saturn finger or the Jupiter. Saturn, Saturn, when I'm trying to align with feeding them, okay. Jupiter, when I'm trying to acquire something from them. If that, I hope that made sense. Like when I ask prayer and I ask them to guide me or to continue teaching me and showing me, I'll always give it from the finger of Jupiter because it's abundance, prosperity. It's 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 in that vein, okay. But like I said, but when I'm trying to give them honor, Saturn, because like they are past and gone on in another form, so we will too, and it's a continuous circle. It's the Ouroboros. I liked your question though. That was fucking nice. Uh, Good to see you, brother. Wish I could stay. We'll catch the replay. Was looking forward to you chatting with Sarah. Hey, Bragg Magic. Yeah, man. Yeah, well, we caught up last month, and one thing happened to another. We were playing Leapfrog on the weekend thing. Hopefully, he said something about sometime this week, sometime later this month, which is pretty late in the month. But I'm just saying, I'll get back up with him and see what's up with that. Hey, Mr. Higglesworth. Hey, buddy. I'm very attracted to and interested in Saturn and Saturnian magic. Oh man. I will say this concerning Saturn and Saturn magic. There are lots of books out there that I would love to have the Peter Hamilton Giles stuff on Saturnian stuff. I think it was a Dance of Saturn. I don't remember, man. There were so many books. There are tons of books I would love to have. Like I have a wish list of like 20 books that I still haven't been able to buy yet because they're just little pricey. You know, when they're 80 here, 50 there, 200 there. You know, 100. You know, something like that. Yeah, and inflation right now is so freaking high. I can't put my money into it. But if you can find if you can find PDFs on it, look at anything. The Game of Saturn, from what I understand, it's supposed to be a good book. Okay, don't take my word for it. I haven't read it yet. And just because it says Saturn in its title doesn't mean eat every word they say. Hey, Philip. Uh, but with all things, reason, just do your thing. Uh, you know what? If I between today and next weekend, if I happen to think of anything really good Saturn related, I'll bring it up in next weekend's video to help you out, or message me on Facebook under Waylon Straczynski, and like I said, just message me. Don't send me a friend request because I never get on there. But if you just message me, uh, I will definitely message you back. Just look for my symbol under Waylon, and then SZERSZYNSKI, or email me at darkangelofthesun1010 at gmail.com. Either way, anybody wants to, I don't care. I'll talk to anybody. I've emailed people, message, texted. I do it all. Uh, okay, so one last real quick thing I'll say about the blood on the fingers and the hands. Okay, always remember this. Okay, your right is active, your left is passive. If you're left-handed, your left hand is active. Okay, so this doesn't include. So for lefties, take this into consideration. If you're a left-handed person, that's your active hand, not the traditional right hand, okay? But for the rest of us who are right-handed naturally, uh, ambidextrous people, pick the hand you're strongest in. That's your dominant hand. That's the active hand. But for the rest of us who are like that, uh, your right hand is active. So when the moon is going from dark to full, draw the blood from your right hand, okay? Because you want to stay in alignment. You want all your energy to be in alignment with stellar celestial bodies, with your own body, because we are imbued with the properties and essences and are showered daily with the rays of those intelligences. Okay? So from dark to full, draw the blood from your right hand, from the appropriate fingers. Okay? From full to dark, staying with it, because we go with the flow to certain degrees. When it comes to magical energies, you want to stay with the flow of the energies, not go against it. But from full to dark, left hand when you're doing the blood. That's something that is overlooked that nobody says, nobody talks about. I haven't seen that in a book yet. I learned that on my own. I'm just saying I haven't read a book where it's in it. I'm not saying a book doesn't have it. Yeah, Saturn books are expensive. Uh, but yeah, I had to find my passion again with this, y'all. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, I was upset with myself. I was spending more time interviewing other people, and yeah, we had great talks, and I was enjoying it. But for some reason, I was having a hard time finding something that I'm passionate about, something that brings me to life naturally on my own, without any kind of stimulants. And what does that is my true will. And my true will is honestly not necessarily being someone's strength, but showing people their strengths. Okay? That's for me, though. That's not for you. You've got to decide what, you've got to find out what your own true will is, you know? But for me, that's mine. And I was looking back at my videos and stuff, and I was realizing that I was pretty much placating masses, or, trying to come up with material or this, that, or the other, more so than I was following my passion. And my passion isn't talking my head off for hours at a time to a screen. My passion is being amongst my brothers and sisters, because I consider each of you my brothers and my sisters. And so when I'm sitting here, I'm not here necessarily to entertain you. If we get entertained together, we get entertained together. But I am here to share what I'm passionate about, what I'm knowledgeable about, and to try and help others understand it. And hopefully, people that need to know this stuff find it. But I know how the universe works. The universe will draw us all into the spirals. But kind of let this go for a little bit. I didn't expect to be on here this long. I figured it'd be like a 25, 30-minute video. But I'm enjoying doing the live. I was a little gun shy about coming back on doing live videos and stuff, because it's been so long. A little nervous and stuff like that. Uh, because you always want to present yourself, in a respectful manner, and you want to present yourself, the best you can. But you don't want it to be all about, how cool you look, or just, stuff like that. But you want to look good, you want to feel good, you want to be sure of yourself, you want to be confident, you want to have this, you know. And for me, I wasn't there yet. I was not there yet. So, I'm working on it. I love it. I like your openness and friendliness. Do a good service from the love of your own heart. Hey, danke, danke. I appreciate that very much. That means a lot to me. That's one of the things I'm having to. That's my wife and I were talking earlier today. I am one of the most outgoing, friendliest, lovingest people you will ever meet. I'll bring hell down upon you. Don't get me wrong, man. I will bring the wrath. But generally speaking, every day from the time I get up to the time I go down, and even when I'm sleeping, I'm me. I'm just me. I'm Waylon. Uh, Friendly, outgoing, not overtly, Uh, and I have a kind heart. I have a good heart. And I have one that hates to see people hurt. I hate to see them in pain. I hate to feel their pain. Because whether you believe in empaths or not, I feel way more from people just than I should. If that's not an empath, I don't know what the hell is. Uh, and the only way I found to relieve that, feeling that, is to bring happiness, to bring comfort. And sometimes that's with a smile and a compliment. Sometimes it's just listening. Sometimes it's whatever. You never know. But aside from that, though, because we're not getting on all that, uh, but what I was going to say was that one of the things that I discovered this week that I have to work on is that for as much as I'm able to give, it is so hard for me to internalize when someone gives me compliments and things like that. And it's not because of a low self esteem, but because it's like there's something damaged in my head. I don't know if that's from I don't know if that's from being, treated with like my feelings don't count. But it doesn't matter what I think or what I feel, do it. And it's just programmed like that or what it is. But it's hard for me to take in that. I'll hear it. It'll come in and I'll be grateful and thankful. But I can't internalize that energy for some reason. And I don't know why. And I think that over the years, I think that that's what's caused the ebb and flow of my own personal energies is because I'm exuding more energy than I'm taking in. And where it's supposed to be a mixture of both, but I'm working on that. Uh, you probably didn't ask for all that, but I'm just saying that that's why your comments, your compliments like that, they're heartfelt, and I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Yeah, yeah, brother. When I was younger, starting from about 14 to 19 or 20, I couldn't shut it off. I couldn't turn it off. When I was in my teenage years, I thought I was going. I went to mental health. I was on antidepressants, stuff like that, from about 15 to 17, and I weighed 376 pounds. I mean, yeah, that's at 5'6", 376. Yeah, I was a dumpling, but I had like three or four chins, all nine, low self esteem, everything else. Of course, I had to have hip surgery and stuff like that. And, if you can't move and walk very well, you're not going to lose much weight. Uh, but at any rate, it wasn't from all that. That did affect my low self esteem. But what was happening is because of my family and our bloodline, the male bloodline, there are abilities uh, ranging from empathic, speaking with the dead, like all kinds of different abilities. And they started manifesting when I was a teenager. But I was in foster care and I didn't know my real dad and mom. And so I had nobody to guide me to tell me what was happening. I had no idea that in our bloodline that this power passes through the male side. I didn't know that there were meditations. I didn't know that there was, this this method to do, and this method to do, and so forth and so on, to control it or to master it. And thankfully, before I turned 18, we got returned to my father. And after about a year of being home, uh, and all the excitement of, yeah, why'd you get rid of us? Why were we loved? And all this other stuff. And all the feelings that kids feel. When we got through all that, then it was time to be like, okay, well, has this ever happened to you? Do you ever experience this? And come to find out, some of it was our Native American bloodline, and that there were meditations for it that you used to balance it out, to harmonize it, and so forth and so on. And I can just imagine if I didn't have that, I'd probably be dead. I'm not gonna lie, because When you're like a magnet and a sponge at the same time, that's not good. A magnet's one thing, you know what I'm saying? But being a sponge too, that's even worse because you can't get rid of it, you can't get it off you. And thankfully, when I discovered magic, thankfully, I found that there were ways to banish and to remove stuff. And so it helped me. It helped me a lot. I can imagine that there's people out there who are like, yeah, but you don't know this and you don't know that. And you know, you've never had it this way. You've never had it that way. I don't mean this disrespectfully, but you're playing the victim, and we're not victims here. There is no person that has not experienced something that somebody else hasn't. Okay? And I don't mean this disrespectfully. I'm just saying, you're not the only one. You're not special, Cupcake. None of us are. So instead, what I would say, learn to let go of that edge that, you know, that you got something nobody else has, because I promise you somebody does, or somebody has it worse. And use that concept that somebody else has it and probably worse to be able to come down just a little bit and not be so, you know, so clinging to your individuality, and realize that all you're doing is you have a gaping wound and you got your hand over it, you're refusing to let anybody see it to help you heal it. Okay? Because oxygen for wounds heals, believe it or not. You can't keep it closed up, it will get worse. Will get infected. And I say this in a metaphorical manner, okay? Uh, because I wish the best most of the time for people, you know. Uh, I don't want to see anybody, you know, hurt or anything like that. But I also know that the way of the world, I know that the way of existence is experience. I would say it's a pain, because that's the first word that comes to my mind, is that, you know, existence is pain, but it's not. Existence is experience, okay? And experience can be anything. It can be sorrow, sadness, it can be grief, it can be physical pain, it can be happiness, it can be joy. Instead of the opposite of something, like the opposite of joy is sadness, understand they're the same. Joy and sadness are the exact same. Take whatever feeling it is that you have. Its opposite is not an opposite, but it's the same thing. It's an emotion. And an emotion can be healed, it can be strengthened, it can be healed. Okay? And that is also why we do this. See, it all comes full circle. It's how we unite. Ouroboros, the serpent biting its own tail. But I also know that, you know, there are assholes out there who are they're just cruel. You know, it's not because you did anything to them, it's because you can look different, not walk right, you know, not be of a certain social standing, anything like that. And someone's going to be cruel, they'll attack you in some way, whether it's a physical attack, whether it's laughing at you, whether it's, you know, getting people to, you know, give you a hard time, whether it's whatever. You know what's so great about being a magical motherfucker? Feed them to yourself. Feed your God. Feed your God. Feed your God greatly, often, freely. Because one of the things that we don't teach in the occult is how simple and powerful things like this are. Like I said before, and I'll state it one more time, the stronger of an association that you can make to your internal spark, your internal spirit, your internal flame, to be in that little fire on top of the wick, the more powerful of a connection you'll have when it comes time to feed it and to remove things. Oh, oh, I don't want to pick up all of those. Huh. Typical brains, me too. Yeah, I still can't shut it off at 25. I don't want to pick up all those negative thoughts, emotions on top. Uh, as an empath, psychic, holy crap, 27 years of this. And I don't say this as a bragger. I have not discovered my limits. I still have not discovered my limits. And I wish that for each and every one of you. I wish for each and every one of you that when you stop and you think, what am I capable of? What am I able to do with magic? How powerful am I? I hope that you're stunned, that you're blown away because you realize that you're powerful and that you're capable of way more than you thought. And as you go to your altar, your sacred space, or your inner temple, I hope that you realize that you have no idea what you're not capable of. I said this to my good friend and brother, Nick, Mr. Magicology, years ago when I first met him. And I told him, I said, bro, you want to know the most important secret of magic? And no one knows it? And he's like, what? And I said, you are only as capable as you allow yourself to believe. You are bound by your belief. If you are boundless in thought, boundless in heart, boundless in spirit, there is nothing you cannot do. But you've got to go into your inner temple, go into your inner sacred space, find your garden, and pull the weeds and pull up the trees of rotten, poisonous fruits that have been planted and growing like crazy in your inner world from other people. Because there are people who do it intentionally, but 90% of the time, the bad that we have growing inside our gardens were seeds planted in us by others with well meant intentions, who meant well, whose intent was good, but who had no foundational understanding. And so you have to go in there and find out when you see a tree with rotten fruit and that tree don't look right. Guess what? You better imagine a bulldozer pushing it, pulling it roots and all out of the ground. Whatever kind of way it takes for you to dig something up in your inner realm, you need to. If you see it as a weed, yank all the weeds so there's nothing but pure green grass and beautiful flowers everywhere, however it is that you view it. But it is a garden, and it is a garden of the gods, and it is in the underworld. And it's also in the inner world. Okay? Uh, this right here will light the way. It will show you. When I told you to light it, enter into your sacred space, that's where it takes you. That spirit is all knowing. These things will just show up. Yeah, burn them. Dude, I'm telling you, I set fire to my garden one time. I'll never do that again. I had a brother who was like, bro, the secret's all in the ashes. Everything grows from the ashes. My dumb ass listened to that because I respected him. And so I set fire to my entire garden. Next thing I know, I was emotionally inept, mentally, out there somewhere, and spiritually just bankrupt as shit. There was no spiritual energy to pull on, nothing. these things, whether they're metaphorical, symbolic, or whatever, they have a literal physical reaction. Okay? So I would highly suggest do not set fire to your entire garden. Go through and individually pick the stuff out or tear it down. Uh, I was so happy for him that he could Mr. Satanist and and Luciferian and left hand pat this, and I didn't understand that the secret was in the ashes. And I was like, I'm not gonna live there. I won't live in the ashes. I will grow my garden from the ashes of that which I sacrificed to myself. But I'll never listen to somebody give me some crazy shit like that to do. That took me a little while to recover from. Uh, the next weekend's video or live stream, I'm going to be discussing the Black Earth, which is why I'm ending this one with talking about your inner landscape. Okay. So next weekend, if you'll be here, sorcery lesson number 2. These are the lessons and secrets of the Black Tower. Not the group, the Black Tower, the collective, the spiritual collective, the Black Tower. Okay. For those interested in visually going there in meditation or astral traveling, really simple. See the symbol of my key. Clear your mind. Put everything away. Light your candle. Breathe center. Cast the key before you and say, take me to the tower. Let it fall back. Envelop. It'll create 3 sets of wings on each side. Take you straight to the tower. Now, I will say this. If you have an ill intent, it defends itself. Okay? It will defend itself. If you're there because you want to break the key because you think I created it and that it's my magical symbol and it's this, that, and the other because I've already had somebody do that. That was funny. Don't do that. It defends itself. It is overlaid the self to give yourself strength to create a spiritual body. It's also a living, intelligent thing. And by thing, I'm just saying it is a consciousness all its own, but it's not like an entity, okay? It's an actual consciousness. I have no idea, but it's the consciousness of this huge black basalt onyx jet black looking tower. And where it is, like everything's dark and lightning and stuff, it's really weird. Good luck, have fun. I hope you enjoy it. Boy, it's gonna be funny. If you do, feel free to leave your experiences and comments under this video. I would be more than glad to read them. Probably entertained. Also, I want to say thank you to everybody that came here tonight. I really do. It means a lot to me. Back when I first started this 5 years ago and was doing these things, I was by myself. I was literally sitting there talking to a tablet, recording my first YouTube video on a tablet, and a little Sony tablet, and I had my earbuds in, mic and stuff, and the volume's horrible. You can go back and see my first 3 or 4, 5 videos. It was done on a fucking 7.5-inch Sony tablet. And then it got a little bit better, and then finally is what it is. I haven't upgraded stuff in a while, but I'm not trying to keep up with the Joneses. I'm just trying to put out good content and helpful content. Sounds like okay. I gotta read this one again. Sounds like it's Asperger's autism too. I get serious overload. Like you need to turn down the volume on your feelings. Huh. That is strangely enough that made sense to me. Yeah, yeah, you do have to turn down the volume on your feelings. My grandfather used to tell me that you have to. It's like a radio in your head. You have to just turn the volume down. Imagine a radio and just turn the volume down. And I did that for a little while. But anybody that knows what anybody that knows, that's stupid. Uh, as a teenager, you've got like a lot of hormones going on. And plus, you are trying to keep up with the Joneses because, you're trying to, meet people with guys, girls, whatever. Uh, you know, the school in general. So as I got a little bit older and in high school and stuff, yeah, it was really hard for me to turn that radio down. Sweet. Well, with that said and done, uh, I want to thank each and every single one of you for being here. For those who come afterwards, thank you. Uh, as always, hell the infernal, hell the fallen. Till next time.